What is up, Nerf Nation? It is your boy Nomadico, and I am here with another blaster review. Today we're going to actually be reviewing something that I purchased off of shopgoodwill.com. Now, Shop Goodwill, for those who do not know, that is the online auction website for Goodwill that used to be a thrift store and is now a quote-unquote retail outlet. Yeah, a retail outlet where you can buy used stuff for more than the cost of it actually being on sale at Walmart. Go figure. Whatever. However, just to let you know, what Goodwill has been doing lately, and I know this from people that are in the know, is that whenever you actually make a donation to Goodwill, they will take the best stuff, and rather than putting it out on the shelves that go to the community, they put them on their auction website where people can bid on them, and sometimes you can actually get some really good deals. Other times you find some ridiculous prices, such as $14.99 for a NERF N-Series blaster, such as the Ward. Yes, I have seen that. And the listing got removed, so either they sold it or somebody was dumb enough to pay $14.99 for a $3 blaster. Whatever. That being said, if you're looking for a lot of, shall we say, nostalgic Nerf stuff, you can usually find it on shopgoodwill.com. So, I actually saw a listing, and I was like, holy cow, I want to try to win this, and I did. I ended up paying $60 for a NERF limited blaster. Now, understand that all you see are actual pictures, and you can't really tell what's in the box. The box itself was opened up, but it looked to be in good condition, and it seemed to be new. Now, you can't really inspect it on hand, so you don't know what you're going to get. I paid $60, plus I think it was like $10 shipping, so $70 roughly for a NERF limited edition blaster. You know what? That's actually okay, because retail new in box, these blasters can go anywhere from $100 and up depending on the blaster. But the one that we're actually going to be talking about today is the NERF Book of Boba Fett EE-3 blaster. Now, there is pretty much a Venn diagram of NERF fans and Star Wars fans. I don't want to say it's a perfect circle, but it is pretty close. So, yeah. To say that this one was exciting when it came out is putting it lightly. I have been wanting this one. I've been searching for it for a couple of years now and was waiting for it to be a good deal. When it was actually below $100, I think it was like $75 at one point in time on Amazon. I just did not have the funds, and I didn't nab the deal because it was a lightning deal. So, yeah, you know, whatever. And now I see it for roughly around $144, which pushes it in the, do I want to pay that much, or do I want to go get a pro-level blaster for that price? But when I saw it on the Shop Goodwill site, I was like, yeah, let me try it. Worst comes to worst, I actually have a nice wall piece that I can paint up. Now, we're going to open up this box now and see whether or not I got hosed or if it was worth it. Now, the box itself does show some slight damage on here. You can see the light of my ring light reflecting off of it, so it is kind of a shiny box. But let's go ahead and actually take this off of it for now. This is actually in good condition. And that just slides right off. Of course, you have the NERF Limited logo on here. Now, the box, it does not unfold, contrary to what you might think. It just lifts that up, and that's there. And we have our blaster inside. Okay, so this blaster does take for 2 AAA batteries. It says that they're not included. And, yeah, inside here we have our cardboard cutouts. This is new. This is new completely. There's some tape here. I don't want to ruin the box. Let me be very careful here how we do this. Okay, there's our blaster. That's neat. This has the new box smell to it too. Oh, this is really good. Nice form-fitting box. Here are our darts and our cartridges. This is what I was worried about, is that yes, it would have the blaster, but that somebody might have actually bought an extra one, stolen the cartridges, and returned the blaster to Goodwill. This is fantastic. I'm trying to be very careful. I don't want to damage this box, because normally I don't collect boxes, but given that it's Star Wars and it's limited, I might make the exception here. And there we go. All right, so we have the Star Wars logo on this box. Wow. I just want to show off this box really quick because it is really pretty. Of course, you do have the Boba Fett inspired artwork in the background. And you have the Star Wars logo right here in a different form of plastic. It is very shiny. It is very nice. This is a box that you actually put on display. And I may go ahead and do so. And we have our instructions. So let's set this box inside and focus on the blaster. Really quick, I do want to see the instructions because normally I don't read them, but given that it's a limited one, I need to see exactly how this is going to load and how it is going to work. I'm joking. So, all right, now, of course, let's take a look at the darts. Usually with the limited ones, you get a special type of dart, and we want to see how this is going to work. I'm going to break open the little wonton wrapping package, as I call it. And we have some brown with brown darts that actually matches the aesthetic of the cartridge, which is kind of nice. I do hope that somewhere out there in the 3D printing kingdom will actually go ahead and actually make a file for this, because it would be nice to be able to reprint these, because it only gives you 3, and if you are actually going to use this blaster for a NERF battle, it'd be nice to have more than 3 cartridges. So I guess you can load up a total of 12 darts, and it comes with enough to load up the cartridges, which is not really cool because obviously darts can get lost, but between you, me, and the wall, you're not going to buy this for a little child, and if you are, congratulations, you have more money than sense. You have more dollars than cents, I should say. And yeah, because these are blasters that, even though they are children's toys, I don't think that they're geared towards children necessarily. This is more for the adult child. Then I happen to be one, so there you go. All right, now loading this thing up, of course, you just actually have, let me switch it over here. You do have the Star Wars logo right here. Now, this is painted to look like a toy, so you can actually walk around with it, and it's fine for cosplay. It is not exactly screen accurate because Boba Fett's blaster actually has the weathering, and it's all like a black carbon steel. So yeah. Then, of course, you have the orange nozzle. But other than that, I mean, this looks pretty sharp as is. So I'm not too upset that they painted it this way, as opposed to the Mandalorian, where they actually made it solid white, which was just like, that is cringy. Yeah. But now, to load up this blaster, of course, you just use that button. That ejects out here, and you load up a cartridge, like so. You close it, and then you are ready to fire. You pull back on this mechanism. That is now primed, and then you pull the trigger, and it fires. It does fire 1 dart at a time, so you get a total of 4 darts per cartridge. Then, of course, when you need to eject, you just pull that open. Again, take the cartridge out, load the next one in. So that's basically how the blaster works. That's actually a really cool little loading system because it doesn't utilize necessarily a smart AR system. It is just the cartridge system. So now it does have lights and sounds. I need to actually put the batteries in here in a second. And it does come with a sight that you can kind of see out of. I'm going to say that this is just more a play sight than anything else, because even though it is clear, it is highly distorted. Like, I mean, yeah, no. Don't use this sight if you're actually going to use this. I don't even know if this is going to be worth using in a NERF fight, even in a basement battle, because, again, it's a wall piece. So I may end up actually painting this to make it look more screen realistic in the future, depending on how difficult it is to take apart, because even though I do like the concept of it being, with the green, I kind of want it to be a screen replica, and I feel like a simple paint job of using metallic paints here on the barrel will suffice. Now, that being said, I need to figure out where the battery door is. In fact, it is right here. That is pretty apparent. So I need to find my screwdrivers. Okay, so as I said, the battery door is right here. It does blend in pretty well, but you can see the crease here. That is what advised me that that is the battery door. And let's get this in here. Now, batteries are not included with the blaster, y'all. I've seen other reviewers that seem surprised that, oh, has lights and sounds, but how do you get one that's new in box without batteries and then act surprised when you hear something make a noise? Okay, so those batteries are there. Now, Is it just automatically there, or? Okay, that's cool. That activates a noise just by pulling the trigger. Right here. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but let me get this closer to the microphone. Okay. And that's kind of fun. Now, it does say that there's lights. Let me see here. Oh, that's how you turn on the lights. You actually just twist this little nozzle right here, and that turns on the red light. That's kind of fun. Okay. All right. I'm okay with this so far. All right, so now I just need to get a Boba Fett mask and a costume because this would be perfect for a cosplay getup. You know, that's just fun. And that's a nice little added touch that when you actually open that up, it makes that sound. I wish that this would eject a little bit easier than what it does, but that's fun. That ejection system could work a little bit better. That's cool. Like that's just so cool. I can't. I'm giddy like a little child. And yeah, the glow sight. I mean, that looks neat on camera at least. You really can't see anything from back here from my end, but I mean, kind of. It's very distorted, but all right. So there you have it. This is the Boba Fett blaster. Of course, now, here's the important part. Does it perform? Now, I am assuming because of where the cartridge is located at and how short the barrel is, we're going to get a lot better performance than we're going to get out of the Mandalorian Ambient Phase Blaster. That's the name of it. We're going to get better performance out of that. I hope. Knock on wood. But, that being said, let's run this sucker through the chronograph test. All right, so here are my final thoughts regarding the NERF Limited Boba Fett EE-3 blaster. You know what? I am not upset with this blaster at all, with this purchase. The price was right for what it was. For a limited blaster at $60, you know, it's a decent price. I don't think I would have paid the hundreds plus that they're asking for it for brand new. But the $60, I'm okay with it for what it is. And that being a limited edition blaster that is going to be a wall piece. Now, let's talk about let's talk about the performance as a play blaster. I averaged in the 50s, you know, upper 50s, and I think I got as high as 60. Surprisingly, and I'm shocked about this one, it did not perform as well as the Ambient Phase Blaster. I actually took my Ambient Phase Blaster off of the wall to test it, and with the Phase Blaster, I was getting in the mid to high 60s, utilizing the same darts that come with this particular blaster. So that being said, that's kind of surprising because the ambient phase blaster has like a 2 foot long barrel roughly, versus this one, which again, the dart cartridge is right here, and that's like what, 8 inches. Now let's talk about the really cool part about this blaster. Of course, you're probably wondering how it works. The truth is that right in here you can actually see the rotating mechanism. This acts as a removable cylinder. So it's just a rotating barrel, kind of like a hammer shot. So imagine a hammer shot that you can actually flip out the cylinder and replace it and do a hot swap. That is basically how that mechanism works. In fact, I don't actually have to have it loaded. You can actually show this here. Let's see if I can get that little nozzle here on camera. When you actually pull that back, that bottom piece right there rotates, and it rotates this little section of the actual cylinder. So that is how that works. Now, modability of this blaster, of course, you can try to modify it. There is possibly a way to actually get the springs. I see that the screws are revealed here as opposed to the ambient phase blaster, which actually had covers on all the screw ports so that you couldn't modify it. That I want to point out one thing, though, about this particular blaster series, and it's puzzling, because I feel as if Hasbro missed out an opportunity. With the Mandalorian blaster, Hasbro actually released 2 versions of it. You have the orange version, or what I like to call the play version, and then you have the limited one, which is the white with the Sharpie, I should say the dry brush on it, that has weathering, and that's the one that has all the lights and sounds. Now, if you don't care about lights and sounds, personally, I would tell you to go for the orange one because that one costs around $44. I was able to get that one on sale for like $25 on Amazon once upon a time ago when it was on sale. And there you go. You have it. It works exactly the same as the limited, just that one has lights and sounds, the other one does not. If you're like me, that you actually want to paint the blaster for like a cosplay piece, you can go ahead and actually get the orange one, and it paints up real easily. What I will tell you, though, is that if you do the Mandalorian blaster, do not put it together prior to painting, because once that thing snaps together, it is together. And there is no way to access the screws without breaking the plastic on the blaster. So just heads up. So I mentioned that because Hasbro had the chance to do that with this one. Had they actually released this blaster as a non-limited, a basic version, different color scheme, obviously. You could have kept, made all this orange and made it so that it could be paintable. I feel as if it would have sold like crazy. Why? Because, let's be honest here, amongst Star Wars fans, outside of Darth Vader and outside of Luke Skywalker, the most popular character is Boba Fett. He only had like one line in the entire trilogy, and that's it. The guy was a menacing figure. Why? Because he was known as just being the most badass bounty hunter in the galaxy. And he also helped to capture Han Solo. So there you go. You have a character that barely speaks at all and is one of the most beloved characters that was introduced in the Christmas special of all things. So you create a blaster for him that is relatively iconic, because this is an iconic blaster from the movie. Kind of like Han Solo's blaster. So why not release it in a fashion that people can actually find it more affordable other than the limited edition, and that way you can just make more money off of that. I don't know. Those are the business decisions that Hasbro makes that makes me just go like, are you wanting to make the NERF brand go bankrupt? Because that's how you go bankrupt, is by making a product that is out of the reach for the normal consumer and not releasing an alternative that they might spend money on that's going to cost you less to make. You could still price it in the $30, $40 price range, and more people will buy it. So, again, I'm not president business from Hasbro, but I am a consumer, and I know what I want, and I know that I didn't pay what they originally wanted for this. So there you have it. But all in all, if you actually have the chance to get one of these and you're a Star Wars fan, it's great. If you're looking to do like a basement battle for NERF and you actually want to do some theming, it's okay for that too. The 4 shots, I mean, look, it just adds to the fun. But When it comes to performance-wise and distance-wise, you're not going to get it, just to let you know. You're going to average right around 50 feet, maybe 60 feet of distance, and that's if you angle it upwards. Straight shot, you're going to be getting around 30 feet, which again, that's good for a basement battle. This is not good for outdoor play. What I will tell you to do, though, is that if you have this, don't use necessarily these brown darts. I know that they're elite darts, but brown darts, hard to find, especially if you are out in grass area. These are going to blend in. You might as well call them camouflage darts. Though if you are like my snarky child, he called them doo-doo darts. And that was actually kind of funny. I have to give him the concept on that one. I have to give him kudos for that one, because that was pretty clever. A doo-doo dart. I mean, it is brown. So, yeah. That being said, I tested it with these darts. I have not tested it with other darts just yet. And well, it looks like my 3D print job is done. So there you have it. That is the Boba Fett blaster. Now I just gotta figure out what I'm gonna do with this and how I'm gonna hang it up on my wall. I want to thank you all for watching Secondhand Blasters. Until next time, y'all, keep on blasting.